Let's look ahead to today's Premier League action with the former West Ham, Portsmouth, Queen's Park Rangers and, of course, Tottenham Hotspur manager, the legendary Harry Redknapp. Morning, Harry.
Paul, good morning. How are you?
Very well. Really good to see you. You know, all this talk about Harry Kane. I mean, are people just looking too deep into this? Everybody has a little off form every now and again. What do you think's going on with Harry?
I think he's a fantastic player, Paul. You know, he's just a great professional. I watched even the other night. I watched the game, and he hit a couple of passes there were just incredible. And he'll go on a run of scoring goals. He'll end up with his goal tally again up there around about the 20 mark by the end of the season. He's just one of those players, you know. And he scored the goals in the internationals the other week for England. I'm sure he'll start hitting the back of the net for Tottenham.
Is the thing because he's almost trying to be all things to all men with the Spurs side that was slightly underperforming? He's dropping deep. He's probably the best midfielder Spurs have got, as well as the best striker. He's probably the best. He's probably the best defender as well. He's just such a good player. Yeah,
he's just a complete all-round player. But maybe he does need to be a bit more selfish, get himself in the box, maybe not want to come and link up play so much. And spend more time in the 18-yard box. And if he does that, he'll get back to scoring goals. But even when he picks it up deep and runs with it, he always looks like he might score. You know, he's just a great talent. I couldn't criticise him in any shape or form. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, me too. Let's talk about the team, Harry, and how you think they're doing at the moment. I'm thinking back of when you took over from One Day Ramos, and it seemed like it a pretty unhappy team. You came in, the players seemed happier, they started playing better. How does that relate to what's going on with Antonio Conte? Because it's almost like, he's going to make them work a lot harder and they don't know what's hit them at the moment.
Yeah, no, listen, I think he'll be good. But it's like everything, Paul, he needs backing. They need good recruitment, and that's where the people who are responsible for bringing the players in come into action. Really, it's their responsibility to give him the talent that he needs to work with on the training pitch, because he's a top coach. But most importantly, you need top players to be a successful team. And I'm sure, come the transfer market in January, he might do a bit of business, get one or two in. And I think it's only a matter of time before he starts to look to really push for a top four spot again. I think they've got every chance of making the top four even this year. I think it's, West Ham are going to be right there. They're in great form. But certainly I see Tottenham being a real contender, along with Man United for the top four position again. There's every chance they could do it.
Now, when it comes to transfers, of course, we talk about players coming in. But what about when it comes to players leaving? And how does it work? And how did it work with you as well? Because there's obviously going to be players that Antonio Conte doesn't fancy and think, he doesn't really have a future here. You've got to get the price right, actually, to sell them, or they end up sticking around, I guess, and then they're just adding to the wage bill, and you don't want them around.
No, it's a difficult one. You've got to have somebody who wants them, first and foremost. And they've got lots of players there that I think would be in demand by other clubs. Maybe they're not quite at where Tottenham want to be, but I'm sure Conte's already made up his mind about the people that he sees going forward and building the club for the future. So there will be some comings and goings, I'm sure, in the transfer window. But you've got lads who've come in, like lad Skip did well the other night. He was on loan at Norwich last season. He could establish himself in the team. Who knows? I mean, he's got the opportunity. But they've got other players who are on the fringe, like Harry Winks. Is he going to be part of the plans? If he's not, then he'll certainly do a great job for somebody else in the Premier League. So they've got lots of players that I'm sure they can shift if they want to raise some money as well. So it'll be interesting times at Tottenham, I think. But I certainly think they've got the right man in position to take the club forward in Conte. I think he'll do a great job.
Now, let's move on to another club close to your heart, and that's West Ham United. Looking very good for them. I mean, I remember as a kid the old days when you'd say that West Ham will go down with the Christmas decorations. I don't know whether this could happen this time, though, Harry.
Absolutely not. West Ham look fantastic. I mean, David's gone back there, David Moyes, and done an amazing job. I mean, however, what a turnaround in a football club. We all look back. It was only seemed 10 minutes ago that they were running on the pitch and attacking the director's box with David Sullivan in there, and it was horrendous scenes at the London Stadium. Now it's a different world. I mean, they're singing at the end of yesterday's game, the crowd singing "I'm Forever" blowing bubbles. It was just an amazing atmosphere, and it's great to see. They really are a team and a club on the up at the moment. So all things look good at West Ham. Let's hope they can sustain that. And again, they've got a big chance this year of making the top 4 position. I wouldn't write them off for sure.
And finally, the big question then, who's going to win? Is it going to be David Ginola? He's not you, though, is he?
No, he's better looking than me, that's for sure.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second.
I think my missus is probably voting for him, like most of them. But no, I'd love to see. He's a great guy, isn't he? You know, I mean, I've got to know him. I tried to sign him actually when I was manager at Portsmouth, and he's a great guy. So yeah, he's done well on there. It would be interesting to see who wins it, but he's got as good a chance as anybody, I'm sure.